Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I am so excited to be bringing you the newest palette from Fantasy Cosmetica. This is the Monk palette. Here is this gorgeous color story. I really wanted to pick this color story up because I've just been craving brightness, and this palette just exudes brightness. One thing that I always love when brands do is that the color story on the front artwork really matches the inside of the palette, and I think that they did really well with that. So definitely kudos to the brand. But let's go ahead and just talk through some details. I have my computer up here next to me. This palette is retailing for $38.99. So it does seem that they have raised the price a little bit on their palette from that previous price point of $35.99, but I still don't necessarily mind. You have 9 pigmented shades, 5 mattes, 1 duochrome, 1 multi-chrome, and 2 shimmers. Let's go ahead. I'm going to do my best to see if I can get some good swatches, because I feel like I suck at swatches, but we're going to try our hardest. Flow, multi-chrome, peach and gold teal multi-chrome with a transparent golden base and multicolored sparkles. Stun, matte, bright yellow. Channel, matte, dusty ochre. Energy, matte, light yellow, leaning orange. Flurry, duochrome, bright orange base with blue-pink duochrome shimmers. Strike, shimmer, true, rich gold. Timeless, matte, bright orange. Deflect, shimmer, rich copper. Stillness, matte, deep, dusty brown. Alright, so there are the swatches. Let's go ahead and jump into look number 1. So for look number 1, I've really been enjoying actually going in with the tape methods. I'm just going to take some tape. Oops. Apply along the edge of the eye. So as you can see on this side, I kind of did more my first kind of thought when I look at this palette. So I am just going to start off with our shade Stillness, which is like that brown. I'm just taking kind of a longer pencil brush. This one's by Blend Bunny. And I am going to just start by dragging this color along our tape. And then I'm going to take it to where that colored part of my eye starts and just kind of pull it up and create kind of this shape here and just fill all of this in. I'm also going to pull some into my crease. Jumping in with the shade Timeless, I'm just going to start out by bringing that in to more of our crease, just starting to blend out this brown shade, and I'm going to take it around the edges. I'm not really going to worry too much about my lid. You can if you want to, but because we are going to be using some shimmer shades, we really don't have to worry about it. To get this line to blend a bit easier, I'm going to go ahead and just dip in with our brown and orange. Just a little tap of each, and just run this along this line so we don't have this harsh line. Next, I'm going to dip in with the shade Stun. It's like a super bright yellow. I'm going to start off by putting some into the inner part of my eye. This is a really pigmented, really nice yellow. And I'm just going to take some around the edge of our shape. Just taking that same brush, just buffing over that orange and brown shade to get it really nice and softened. Okay, so once you like how that looks, we can go ahead and remove our tape. Look at that crisp line, seriously. The tape method is just, it's such a winner. So for our shimmers, I'm going to start off with the shade Deflect. It's like an orange. Taking just a flat shader brush, I'm going to pack that into the center of my eyelid. Flipping over my brush, I'm going to dip into this really pretty shade here called Flow. Just pop that into the inner part of the eye. This is like such a beautiful like yellow, almost gold, but I really feel like it's just a really nice bright yellow shade. I love to just take a little bit with my finger and just pop that on there. Now, I did not do it with this other side here, but I'm almost tempted to play with another shimmer shade. I really just love to layer shimmers, so I'm really tempted to take a bit of this center shade Flurry. It's like a really pretty, it almost looks like orangey with some pink. I'm just gonna tap that in between the two. I don't know if that did like anything special, but it's a really nice formula. I think I give it a little extra glimmer. Now, I tend to like to kind of buff around the sides of my shimmers. So I'm just gonna take a fluffy brush, make them feel more seamless. For the bottom lash line, I'm keeping it pretty simple, so I'm taking that brown shade of Stillness. Just with an angled brush, I'm going to run some of this just under the lash line. I'm taking it pretty much all the way underneath. And then I'm going back in with the brush we used for the orange. And I'm just going in and softening. Alright, here is the finished result. So far, I'm loving this. This really is giving me the brightness that I really wanted. Kudos to them. Super love that. Let's go ahead, jump into our next look. The only random thought I'm going to give you, and let's just see if I am correct. Because this color story is so it feels very similar to me, I'm kind of nervous that most of my looks are gonna look the same. Not that I necessarily mind, because I do love these colors, but as a consumer, it kind of makes you feel why wouldn't they just include different colors? So let's see what I can create. I'm gonna try my hardest to make it something different than what you see here. That still kind of it's not just a different shape, I guess, if that makes sense. So let's see how I do. Let's roll on into that look. Alright, so starting out, I just lined my eyes with a black liner, and then I tapped my foundation all over my eyelid. So just taking a fluffy pencil type brush, I'm going to go ahead and dip in with our shade Stillness. You may notice that this look is going to be really similar to yesterday's, but I just mainly included a different shimmer, and then of course I'm not using the tape method. I feel that by using this brush is really showing how much intensity this brown has. For me as a consumer, I still wish, I love super depth, so I do wish it was a bit darker, but that's okay. And I'm going to stop kind of about where that colored part of my eye is. I'm going to follow that shape underneath the eye as well. Going in with a little bit of a fluffier brush, I'm going to dip in with Timeless. I'm going to focus this on most of our eyelid. I'm going to leave a little bit though in the front here for another shade, just so we don't close off that brightness. Just following the shape all around. I almost just want to stop here because I really like how this is looking, but I think we're going to go ahead and add that other shade just to add the brightness that I did on this side. I don't know if I'm going to take it all the way as much as I did on this side, just because I feel I'm liking how this is looking. It's simple, obviously it needs to be blended out, but it's pretty. Okay. Dipping in with the shade Energy, which is kind of a light orange, almost yellow. I'm going to put that into the front part of our eye. You can see this is a super, I would almost say pretty neon type orange. It's giving very Cheeto, which felt kind of funny, of course, with our current political, world. So I originally took it around this brow bone here. I don't think I'm going to. I'm just going to take the brush if there's a little bit of excess product. Use it just to soften. I do want to take a little bit along the bottom, and I'm going to be careful because this brush is quite huge. And the same thing, kind of buffing around it. I really wish, I don't know why, I feel this brown just doesn't, blend as easy as I feel it should with the orange. I think that it's blending, but it's just not, it's not feeling seamless. Which is just bugging me, but I don't think it's that bad, so we'll just leave it. For our main star of the show, I really wanted to pull in the shade Flurry, which definitely, I feel like I said yesterday, kind of has some more pinky, orangey tones to it. So I'm just starting off with my finger and just really placing that shade all over the lid. This is just so pretty. It's it almost has a little bit of peach, just a really stunning shade. And I appreciate this because it's really different from something I would normally wear. So I do like that because it kind of pushes me out of my normal. I'm going to go ahead and just take a flat brush to pick some of that up. Add that a bit more into more of the lid, I guess. I'm going to take some along our lash line as well, just in that front part to add some more shimmer. Alright, and here is our finished result of the look. I think it looks really pretty. Is it super different from yesterday? I mean, kind of. I did my best to make it different. Definitely let me know your thoughts. So to give you my final thoughts about this palette, I really do like it. One thing I did not discuss with you previously is if any of the shades are kind of that more emollient putty type formula. I do feel that Flurry and Flow are a little bit, which are your multi-chrome, duochrome shades. I don't feel it's overwhelmingly though. You can move a shade around with your finger, but I do not think that it is that greasy type formula. So one thing I did want to also mention, as I've only played with this palette, of course, now you've seen with 2 looks. I love this color story, but I also wish that there was a little bit of change to it. So one thing I thought would be kind of fun to talk through is the biggest shade that I feel I would remove is this shade Energy. I just feel like it's really similar. I don't really think that we necessarily need it. It is this yellowish orange shade. I feel like on camera it looks kind of yellow, at least to my eyes. But one thing I thought would have been fun to kind of pop into here and pull from a little bit of the water. I know it's not exactly the same color, but I'm taking the shade, or Cradled in Ice palette. And this is something really cool, is that because their palettes are magnetic, you are able to do that. So I'm just taking this stunning shade Nest, and I'm just going to pop it in. And of course, you let me know. Of course, all of our opinions are valid and are going to be different, but look at how much that just changes the palette. And I feel like I feel like this blue looks so pretty with this shade. I feel like it kind of, I don't know, it makes me feel a bit more adventurous with the shades. Of course, there are other shades that you could pop out. You could always pull. So I popped out Channel, and I'm instead replacing it with this teal shade, which is from the Harvest of Souls palette, again, by them. I feel like just more playing in on that water kind of idea. And again, I feel like it just really changes the palette and makes it a bit interesting. Of course, obviously, I still think that their original look for this palette is stunning. I feel like I'm just happy that their palettes are magnetic so that we are able to do this and customize and create a different color story for ourselves. All in all, I do think that this palette is worth it. I think it is a really pretty color story. The shimmers are really nice. Definitely tune into a shorts tab, should be coming up soon. Not tab, to a shorts should be coming up soon. Me playing with this palette. I might even play with my new kind of created color story just because I think I really like it. And I think it would just be fun to still show off some of the other shimmers. I guess let's just be honest. Do I feel like this is my favorite color story? No, I definitely appreciate that it gave me the brightness that I was looking for. But I would still say of all the palettes I've tried, Harvest of Souls is just still a clear winner. It's my color story. It has the depth that I like. If this had more depth, to be honest, I probably would like it a bit more. But again, I feel like it may have needed just some additional like color adjustments. So let me know down in the comments what you think. Hopefully you think my adjustments are good. I hope you are having a great rest of your day, and I will see you in my next one. Okay, bye.